Hello, welcome to another episode of The Shape Up. Here today with 5 wonderful guys. All right, to my left, far left, we got Doe the Barber. What up, Doe?
What's going on now?
Always getting that dough.
Yes, sir.
What that
yes,
dough
sir.
like? Dough like?
Yes, sir. It's wonderful.
Huh? We're
Wonderful.
going to talk about how you be getting that dough too, man. We're going to talk about that.
All right.
All right, we got B Shadow to my left.
Hey, now,
What
how you
up,
doing?
B? What's happening?
Honored to be here. Appreciate you.
All right, Mr. Kojak. How you doing down there, Kojak?
What's up, man? What's good?
Man, pleasure to have you here.
Yes, sir.
Value your opinion on some of these topics we can really be picking on. We got Mr. Jetty, the CEO of Smige.
It's my G.
G's.
So important to get the G right.
Yeah, you're right. That's important, man. That's
Hey,
important.
hey,
Clothing brand, y'all. Clothing
Hey
brand.
man, life is looking up.
Absolutely. We're gonna talk about what all that means too. All right, and definitely I got my co-partner in crime, Mr. Tell It Like It Is.
How y'all doing this evening?
My man.
All right, there it is, y'all. There it is. All right, a few topics, man. I want to start this show off talking about what success is. What success means to you guys. I know it's different for each and every person. Some people's success is money, and some people's success is, the name, being in lights. So, what you think, B Shadow?
Oh, damn. All right. Well, I've kind of had to rethink what success means to me, right? Because now, don't get me wrong, I definitely want the money and the name and lights within my field, though. You dig what I'm saying? Like, within reason. Like, I don't want to be Kanye, Jay-Z, Beyonce famous. You know what I mean? I think I'd rather be like Luke Cage famous. You know what I mean? Like, you know who that actor is, but if you saw him in something else, you'd be like, I think I seen him in Luke Cage, but I ain't sure though. You dig what I'm saying? Like just enough to pay my bills. Ain't got to worry about it. Ain't got to worry about my bills. You see what I'm saying? Like I do want that level of success, or rather the fame portion of success. But I think for me, realizing that like I do a lot of work with kids and kind of seeing that them kids have gone on to do like super dope things with their own lives. I'm kind of smooth with that. You know what I mean?
That. Okay. Luke Cage money and doing some things for some kids. Ain't nothing wrong with that, though. We all got different measurements of success or whatever. Kojak, what you thinking?
I think success is like goal achievements.
Goal achieving?
Goal achievements. Like, whatever you set your goal out to be, if you accomplish that, that's success.
Okay.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be about money and fame. It's about personal success. It's my opinion. You know what I mean? Like,
that's
like my man right here. If you set out to do something in particular, what you say your field was again?
Poetry.
If you set out to be like one of the greatest lawyers of all time, and you get recognized as that's success.
Okay.
Cause that's your personal goal.
I feel like.
You know what I mean? Like, my thing is to open up my own security firm. You know what I'm saying? My own security service. So once I do that, be successful to me. So I don't need to be famous and I don't need to be filthy rich. I just need to achieve my goals, my life goals.
Yeah.
That's success to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I respect that.
Y'all think it's
I like that.
to chase filthy richness when I'm talking about hundreds of millions of dollars?
Of course not.
Do you think that is, some people look at too much money or too much so-called success, if money is one of the things that's identifying you as being successful. But some people look at those like, say, Jeff Bezos, for instance, on Amazon,
Jesus Christ.
or Mark Zuckerberg over at Facebook, or any of those CEOs, and they have like $200 billion or something.
Elon Musk is now the most.
Elon Musk, right? He just passed.
He just passed him up.
Look, by $1 billion.
He just passed about $1 billion.
$1
He got 186 now. Jeff Bezos got
In 24
185.
hours.
Wow,
Right.
he just passed
Crazy.
him.
He just passed him.
In 24 hours.
So,
How long ago
I
was
mean,
that?
Like a couple
to
days ago.
me,
Yeah, give it about another week of the switch back over. Excuse me.
the more money you have, the more money you are able to do for people. I mean, Jeff Bezos also just made the biggest donation in the history of donations. I think he just donated $10 billion to some cause. I forgot what it was that I read, but just gave away $10 billion too. I mean, So,
It's very successful.
you know,
Wife also gave away like
Yeah, she gave
34.
34 to H.
She gave away $34 billion.
Yeah, and I
34
think
billion?
I think 10 of that billion was specifically to HBCUs.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, like
So-
Madam X Bezos is out here with it. Jeff Bezos is doing like this offset, like because everybody that work for Amazon is making pennies.
right.
But you know, then he'll go out into the
that's
rest
right,
of
what,
the world.
$15 an hour?
Yeah,
See,
bro.
they
They,
operate up under
donated
that.
to the
They
HBCU?
operate. They operating up under that. Give it all away before you die. Pact.
Okay.
See, there's
I
a
got
pact that the billionaires came up with, like the ones with real money. We give it all away before you die. We ain't taking nothing with us. It's just selfish to do so.
Right.
And so she's already at it. Like
Yeah.
she's off to a good start right now.
That's interesting to know that
Yeah.
right there. that
Yeah.
Give it all away before you die.
Yeah, that's
I heard
like
that.
what is it? What good is it?
Right.
You thinking selfishly beyond the grave.
Well, give it
Yeah.
all away. I mean, what about your people that to follow you?
Well-
your grandkids, their grandkids, the generational wealth, the Kennedy wealth.
See, I'm glad
that
you touched
Rockefeller
that.
wealth.
I'm glad you touched that.
That our family will never be broke again type of wealth.
I mean,
See,
but check it out.
My way of being successful is when everybody around me is good. That's my part of me
Yeah,
saying
but
I'm
you can't
successful.
forget. You can't. The most important part about what we're talking about, man, is you can't forget that these people remember how it felt to struggle and build at some point.
that's
There
true.
might be somebody in this family that's saying, you know what, man, I'm going to take y'all back to where y'all feel at again because you motherfuckers is too cultured, y'all too pampered, y'all too many different things that don't require y'all to feel pain, and pain is a part of life. Because life is
Absolutely.
about dualities,
Mhm.
Okay.
pleasure and pain.
Right.
And when you understand that, you understand the importance of either one of them.
People work so
You got to
hard
have 'em both.
dodge the pain.
Yeah.
Though.
Most definitely.
But
You
you have to
know.
understand.
Yeah,
there's a
but the
duality.
pain
You can't,
strengthen
you
them.
can't get successful without.
But there's a duality.
Going.
You have
Exactly.
to go. You
So
have
they
to
have
go
to
through
feel
that.
it.
You have to go through the bumps, the scratches, the scrapes. You have to do that.
So
Because if you don't do that, then when the scrapes and the scratches come 20, 30, 40 years down the line and you never learn that lesson, then it destroys.
it's a journey, man.
So if I may interject with just my piece of churchiness,
Interject, brother.
piggybacking on what y'all
Wow.
saying though, it's like in the book they tell us that Jesus ain't never stopped the storm. He just quieted the people in the storm. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I think that goes well with what y'all are saying. Like like you do, like pain happens.
Yeah.
See it, assess it, move through.
Grow
you know what
from
I mean?
it.
Because it don't last. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Right.
So that's my interpretation of what y'all saying. I don't know.
No, it's growth from it. I'm saying it's like I go back. I don't like to repeat myself, so I'm not. I'm just saying when you go through things, plight, struggles, impediments, roadblocks, whatever you want, potholes, whatever. When you go through shit, it's not a complaining aspect of it that you should kind of focus on the most.
Mhm.
Like you should be like, what the fuck I need to learn something from this, no matter what the fuck it is.
Now
Look, man.
you got your clothing line, right? It's
Yeah.
called what now?
It's called Smyg.
It's my G. Okay.
And-
So kind of break down what type of pain you went through to come with that. That's my G. If you went through any.
Well, coming up with Smyg was a combination of everything that I've been through in my life.
All right.
You see what I'm saying? But it wasn't necessarily inspired by pain. It was inspired by a lack of confidence.
Okay.
Okay.
Because there's too many people in the world right now that's involved in some shit that probably could get them gone or get them done with in a small matter of time.
Oh.
And I think it's based a whole lot on these guys don't have the confidence to move forward and attempt to do something great. And that's dangerous.
Let them know what the
Right.
letters mean.
You see what I'm saying?
Let them know what the
Now,
letters mean.
Smyg is an acronym for show me your game, but the G don't have to necessarily be confined to game. It's show me your greatness, show me your genius, show me your God, show me your generosity, show me your goon for the street cats that want to glorify the shit. Either way, the G means whatever it means to you. Like on my phone, when it rings, it's Fred G samples for the little show.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I like it because Fred used to always say Fred G
And the
samples.
G before
And the
whatever
G
you want it to
stands
be
for.
whatever.
So I have to be honest, I stole a little bit.
I'm with you. I mean,
you stole from a great.
I stole from the great. So
So
yeah.
let me ask
So
you guys
somebody
this
just show me your game,
real
man.
quick.
Go get it. It's about competing. It's about going out there, putting your name in the hat and getting busy already.
You know,
And most importantly, believing in yourself enough to push it.
a lot of people want to be successful, and a lot of people define success in different ways. Question I have is, how do you figure out what you want, and how do you achieve your dreams? How do you like? I know experiences. I always looked at things like phases. I looked at, okay, you learn to be an adult from the age of birth to 18, sometimes extended. Usually in your 20s, you're kind of just figuring out like what you like and what you don't like. You know what I'm saying, in life. You go through a series of jobs and stuff like that. You know, if you're not lucky enough to find the first job is your great passion or love, but you go through a series of jobs or schooling or whatever you're going through your 20s. Your 30s, you should be kind of like,
knowing where you want to be.
Kind of like getting more directed and winding that down to what your career is going to be. And then for the next 30 years, you're working, you know what I'm saying, building up a nest egg, living your life, building your family, growing your family, and things like that.
Right.
But picking out what you're going to do in life is sometimes, they say taking that first step is the hardest step.
Very
you know,
hard.
we talked about this earlier. So how do you pick? You know, what's advice to some of these people out here that don't know what to do? 'Cause I know too many people that's just spinning around in a circle, man. They're not going anywhere. They're just
You gonna
spinning.
go on it first?
Well, yeah.
All
Well,
right.
for starters, when a person is trying to figure out what it is that they want to do in life, career-wise, and they have so many different choices and opportunities out there. So, like me, my mind might say being a barber, being a social worker, whatever it is that you feel like it is that you want to do, then you need to jot it down. You need to put it on paper. You need to see it. You need to put it where you can see it, where you can physically see it.
Yeah.
And you need to jot it down. You need to put it in, you need to put it on paper, put it all out there, look at it, and then you start dwelling, and from there you start coming from that list, because that's where your mind is at. That's where your heart's at, because that's what you put on paper.
But you know, a lot of them, especially, I'm speaking like more of the younger people coming up. I'm speaking more like teenagers, people in their 20s, even some people in their 30s. I see a lot of people, and they still don't know what they want to do in life. They're scared to make a decision. You ask them what is it that they want to do or what is it that they're good at. They have a hard time even answering that question of what am I good at? I mean, if you've been living with yourself for 30 years, I mean, you could be good at staring at the wall. I mean, whatever it is you're good at, tell me what you're good at, you know, but some people still aren't in tune with, they haven't taken enough time to be observant about what they're good at.
Right.
So, on that note, with the young folks, a couple of things are at play. A lot of people don't know that, you know, like something that they're doing is wrong unless you show them something different. I say that to say that with young kids, we'll say teenagers, even cats like my age or in their 20s, screw all that. Steve Harvey said, your gift, and this is probably the best explanation I've heard about it, and this will go back into your question. Your gift, and 9 times out of 10, your passion comes from the thing that you are able to do, that you are the best at with the least amount of effort, right? So in my personal experience, it has anything to do with the verbal gift of gab. It just so happened that I also have been well read and was well established with doing poetry. Poetry then became my vehicle. You dig what I'm saying? And I shoot mofos for over poetry. Like I've done it. It's taken me
You wait a minute.
like
Pause. Off the record, you say you shot somebody?
Off the record.
Oh, okay.
Off the record, guys.
I mean, I've definitely thrown
Poetry
hands.
gangsta over
I've
here.
definitely thrown hands over poems. Like, it's not beyond me. Like I will. I done totally
Is this after a couple birds, or is this
Oh, no,
just
man.
Nah, bro. I done been like,
Listen,
well, so I had anger issues growing up.
Okay, well,
and-
you just please,
yeah, let me
tell
go
me the
ahead.
story.
So
I need the story
So
on
once
hands,
how
body
you got
slams,
into it
okay, so I
over a poem.
yeah, we'll use this one. So
And what was the point?
I was
more
in
than
college. Huh?
There's more than one?
Yeah, it's been a couple of different times.
Oh, man.
And so it was so
That's a drink.
I had a roommate in college, and I had this poem called "Fly," and it was real hard. I don't remember it now, but we was roommates, and then we also worked at the Buffalo Wild Wings in Richmond at EKU together, right?
Shout out to the Colonels.
And so
That.
I got off work early one day. I knew we was doing like a, like the MPHC, so the Black Greeks was throwing like a talent show on campus. So I'm like, oh man, you like maybe, you know what I mean? Like maybe I can, let me hurry up, bird bath, get on over here and try to jump in. You know what I mean? At the very least, they'll throw me last or throw me like immediately on. You dig what I'm saying? Or, like push come to shove, they're like, nah, bro, you want here on time. Cool, bro, I got it. Right. You dig what I'm saying? Well, when I show up, my roommate's on stage performing my poem.
No, he wasn't.
Wow.
But word for word, he had memorized it.
He was on it.
I done got a new suit and everything.
Your suit.
So, it might should have been my suit. No, listen. So no, I'm talking about word. He's
talking about
oh
investing.
my God. You'd have thought somebody had wrote the best monologue for Denzel. This light skinned nigga was on stage eating my shit, and I was like, bruh, are you fucking serious? So I come in. It's these two joints I knew that was like, hey, this Brandon. Hey, then wait, then you. Ain't that? Oh, it is. And so I'm sitting there and I know where the piece is. Like I know where he's at in the piece. And I was like, oh, he's got like a minute left. Like, oh, he's really going in. So, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait like maybe 2 more lines, see if he gonna remix it, right? Nah, bro. And because I'm sitting down with the 2 joints. It was like, didn't you? Like, nah, bro, just shut up. Just like, let me be cool real quick. And he kept going. And I was like, nah, that's cool. So I got up, I walked down the aisle and started spitting the piece from the crowd. So now the crowd doesn't know, right? Like they don't know. So they think it's a group piece now.
Right.
So,
So
like,
you walk into
this
it.
is snap. We didn't even know. I didn't walk down the aisle
duet.
and now done came on stage.
He's memorized his
On
own
stage.
shit.
Because I'm like, bro, like, are you serious? You didn't even do poetry before I met you. Like, what are you talking about? Like, and like I ain't just some random dude off the street. I'd have been on TV before. Motherfucker, like, what are you talking? Like, whoa. And so, and I finished the whole piece with him. The host comes out and is like, oh, yeah, give it up for Dan and Brandon. As soon as we got behind stage, bro, I put my fist in his mouth. I like as soon as we got beyond that curtain or whatever, smack, bro. Don't ever. That's stealing. That's money out my pocket.
Wait. Did it stop her? Just one lick?
No, we had a real fight. I mean, because now he's got to fight
did you
back.
handle him? Or did he?
Oh yeah, no, I won that fight. And then he had to get out. Like, what do you understand? Because then he had to get out. Because I'm like, you can't come back. You can't come back.
Did you handle him?
You can't come back to my crib after this. We fought like full blood, like in the student center. I'm like,
did he feel like he was wrong, or did he just not care?
He was like, oh, I didn't think you was gonna be here.
Oh.
Well,
So he was already great to be
that
doing
makes
it.
for a whole
And
nother
so,
topic right there.
that's not the first time. And so for me, like that thing right there, like so, like because that's my I knew when I first put a poem together, I knew, bro, this is it. This is me. And then by the time I got to high school, Def Poetry Jam was live, right? You had cats like Saul Williams. Even as crazy as he was, the first thing I ever seen from Kanye West was Self-Conscious on Def Poetry Jam, which then later on becomes All Falls Down. You dig what I'm saying? Jamie Foxx was on there. Most Def was already the God. You dig what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, these cats do what I do. And if they on HBO getting money, that's it then. Like, I want that. Yo, I want that. You know what I mean? Like being like I'm a journalist now. Broadcast journalism was something that kind of like appeased my mom, but it also still has something to do with writing. You dig what I'm saying? Like that, the gift of being able to take words, form a story, whether factual or non.
It's powerful.
You see what I'm saying? Like that. Like I knew that from a young age. That's mine. You can't. And so to have been in as many situations as I've been in life where people are like feel like they can just abuse my work, take it from me. You dig what I'm saying?
People gonna be thieves no matter what you do.
Right. You dig what I'm saying? Like, but also in the midst of like my own personal with having anger issues, like, bro, you got to die for that now. You know what I'm saying? We got to come to blows. Ain't no talking this over. You stole something from me. That's like taking money out of my pocket. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? My bad. I done got so far away from what you was asking.
Because you worked up a little laugh off that too. You relived that moment, man. But you know something, man? That's interesting though, because they do say that your thoughts can put you back into a space that you once were in.
Yeah.
Like, I can think about somebody crossed me right now, man.
Yeah.
And my heartbeat a quicken, my pulse are rapping.
Yeah.
I feel this energy come over me.
Yeah, you just said
about a thought. But you know something? They say that thoughts are the only thing that we have control of.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I've read. I mean, I read a lot of this little like self-help type of books and audio books and stuff like that. And they say that the only thing in the world that we have control over is our thoughts, something that we don't think that we do have control over.
And we do.
They say that our thoughts, you know, we most people, if you ask them, would think that their thoughts are random or based off of things that had happened along their day or in the past or things they're looking forward to the future. And that's basically where all thoughts come from. But we have control of our thoughts. And they say that controlling your thoughts, because thoughts turn into actions.
Right.
Controlling your thoughts therein controls your actions.
Yeah.
So good thoughts lead to good actions, bad thoughts lead to bad actions, and so on and so on. So success for real is just a series of good thoughts, positive thoughts.
Yeah, thoughts that need to
turn
be
into
directed.
Positive actions.
Yeah,
That's
these
the
thoughts
key.
need to be directed.
Yeah. And
So yeah, everybody's thoughts are just wandering all over the place and just growing rapidly and doing this because they never are directed.
But so whose job is it to do the directing? The
Yours.
school teacher, the parent, or the individual?
Okay, well, you pick up what you pick up from wherever you pick it up. Life's got different things in store.
But
for
like I
different
said,
people.
there's a lot of people running around here, man, that are well grown that do not have a clue what it is they want to do in life.
and so
Because from the start, there has been no direction and no planning, no seeds planted.
Yeah.
So if there's no seeds planted, how can a tree bear good fruit? It's going to continue to bear the same fruit. The
But
fruit's
they may
gonna come
have-
down.
if it
Because
bears anything at all.
Because it hasn't been nurtured, it hasn't been fertilized, it hasn't been nurtured right. So it's not going to grow right. I don't care what kind of, you can take any seed in the world and plant it. If you don't do it right and you don't nurture it right, it's not going to grow
Turn
right.
out right.
Humans are the same way.
yeah.
Right. Because
If you don't nurture it right and you don't put the right things in it mentally
Right.
and physically
Yeah.
and spiritually, if you don't put those things in it right, then it's going to fail.
But
It might still remain to be a body, but it's going to be a blank body because the person is not going to be able to comprehend, not going to be able to think for themselves. They're going to have no drive, they're going to have no goal, no ambition, nothing, no standards, no morals, anything because it hasn't been fed that. And then a person thinks that a person supposed to pick it up at 30 and 40.
Right. I'm
Highly
gonna tell you.
unlikely.
I'm gonna tell you what really made me get on the drive and the journey to be successful and to make sure the people that is around me, you know, and I'm talking more than just friends. I'm talking about people that's loyal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was that you're gonna be a child twice and a grown up once.
Yeah.
So I keep that in my mind frame and in my head because it's like once you get to your 50s, 60s, and 70s and 80 years old, all the things that you used to do when you was younger, you ain't gonna be able to do no more. But if I got people up under me that's been loyal, you know, and my families and my, you know, friends, they successful, they gonna be able to pick me up. You know, they're going to be able to turn me over on time in the bed, you know, so I won't get no bed sores or, you know, whatever the case may be, you know, so, but, Mark, have you ever fought though to like get,
Some people?
yeah, like, cause I done seen people give me, you know, my haircuts, they'll throw it on their Instagram page.
I fought somebody over a haircut?
Yeah.
Oh, over a haircut. I almost came to blows.
Is it?
Yeah, I almost came to blows with a baby daddy, but that's enough for now. That's not. We're gonna talk about that on our show.
Okay,
'Cause
okay.
that actually did get physical. But all right. Hey, check this out. Are we back, Sean? We back.
I thought we was already
All
back.
right, check this out, Mr. Kojak.
Quality.
All right.
Listen,
there.
now I wanted to talk about some things. I want to hear your point of view on a certain topic. You know, we just got through speaking about success, chasing your dreams, chasing your goals, stuff like that. You spoke on success is just achieving one goal after another. All right. everybody don't see one's vision. Everybody doesn't see your dream. When you got friends and family that don't see your vision or your dream, sometimes they don't want you to leave where you're at because they're comfortable with you right there. Say you're a chef, right?
Right.
Job might be somewhere in Houston, Texas. You got friends and family here. Oh man, what you gonna go to Houston for, man? You know, ain't no opportunity down there. You know what I'm saying? They can cook at the Denny's down the street, man. You know what I'm saying? So, well, I mean, how you deal with people that don't share your dream and don't support your dream?
First thing, you gotta be solid in yourself. Can't let nobody else stop you from doing nothing. That goes with friends, family, whoever. See, first of all, you can't be scared to separate yourself from people. Or separate yourself from a situation. Like, all right, I know for a while, I suffered depression and I overcame it by myself. And once I overcame that, I seen the difference in people that was close to me. Because now since I'm no longer like that, and now I'm out of that and I'm doing something different, they expect me to stay like that. You know what I'm saying? You never let nobody else stunt your growth. I don't care who it is. It could be your mama. You know what I'm saying? You don't let nobody stunt your growth, bro. You know what I'm saying? Nobody has your vision but you.
Preaching to me.
You say your vision, right?
Absolutely.
Who looks at your eyes but you? Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Whoever's vision, it is.
Right. Like, so.
Yeah, right.
Nobody gonna stop my
at things
vision,
the
bro.
way that I look at my life or the things that I want, and probably with each of us in here, that can hold true.
Like me and my man Snoop a while back was talking about duality. And that's the way I see life. Two things, perception and choices in life. That's what I believe life is in a nutshell. And if I perceive something to be my goal, that's gonna be my choice to go achieve my goal and chase my dream. It ain't for nobody else. And that's one thing people all the time get messed up and construed like you trying to please somebody else. Nah, bro, it ain't about that. If you get mad because I'm pursuing me, okay. Look at my man's hat right there. If one of his people say, man, I don't like that hat, I don't like the acronym, I don't like nothing, what he supposed to do? Be like, well, you know what? I'm gonna change everything. I ain't gonna put on no hat, I ain't gonna put on nothing.
For sure.
Nah, for what? You know what I mean? So you can't be afraid, man, to stand up on your own, man, and separate yourself from people.
What do you think it's about, though? What do you think sometimes when, you're going after something in life, something that's important to you, a goal, sometimes you don't get the support that you think that you would get from loved ones and friends around you. Maybe they don't get excited over what
do
you
me last.
What you get excited over. I mean,
I think it's because they know that you can reach it, and it's a possibility that they know or they think that you're gonna leave them, because people know if they support you or not. People know if they with you 100%. And then you know in yourself who your bullshitters are, who's your riders. You know what I'm saying? The ones that just, I know he can take care of me, so I'm gonna do whatever he need me to do. So.
But what about the ones that act like they want you to do well?
That's what I'm saying.
But for real, they don't, because this stuff gets espionage at some levels.
I feel like, my bad. I feel like I'm gonna bring it back to the church one more time. So everybody got a Peter in their squad. Right,
a Peter
in their squad, right? Not a Judas, a Peter, right? Because, that's another topic for another day. So if you look at the disciples, bro, Peter ain't never really rock with Jesus. Every time you get a story about Peter and Jesus, first thing out of Peter's mouth is like, nah, he's not doing that. You know what I mean? Like, the story of like Peter and them on the boat with the fish and shit, right? And like they was all hungry, and Jesus was like, why don't y'all do that on that side? He was like, nah, don't do that. And then these niggas was hungry for 3 days, and then he see Jesus on the beach. And they was like, hey, bro, why don't you go holler at Jesus, ask him why we out here hungry? And he was like, nah, that ain't Jesus. And then it's time to crucify Jesus. And at the dinner, everybody's like, he's like, one of y'all is going to betray me tonight. And, then, of course, because we know the Judas story first, we go, oh, well, it was Judas. I'm like, nah, but if you do a little bit more research, Judas was doing what he was told to do.
Yes.
Also, Judas' name is follower of Christ, but we're going to do that another day. Peter is the actual one who was just like, now you've been rocking with this dude for some years now. And when it came time, they was like, hey, bro, you know that dude, Jesus? Because they had already asked Judas at this point. There was no need for you to be like, oh, I know him. There should have been no need for you to come over there and be around. And he was like, Jesus? Nah, man, I ain't never seen that nigga before. What you talking about, dude? That dude over there, you crucified him? That's wild. Everybody got a Peter in their crew. And all you got to do is recognize who that Peter is. You dig what I'm saying? Use him the way he gonna use you, but like put him in a place. Like, hey, bro, all right, I recognize who you are.
Fuck Peter.
And then go about your business.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck Peter.
Peter just wanted to be Jesus, and that's just
bro.
what it's
And
with
that's
some
facts,
people.
There's
bro.
never gonna be a time when you, like in life, there will never be a time when there's not more people wanting you to fumble than there are people wanting you to succeed.
Right.
So my thing is, once you have that understanding, it should be quite simply. Like, it should be simple beyond that point to just be like, oh, man, I don't give a fuck what you thinking.
Right. I feel
like
you on that, though.
And then even though these people that don't really understand and trying to hold, people are also psychological vampires. They'll suck all of the energy out of you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But oftentimes those same people don't even understand that they need you away.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's what men and women too, strong women and strong men, they always leave the pack and bring food back.
Yeah, most definitely.
Like, why is this even a conversation? Because I'm telling you for a fact, ain't nobody right here getting ready to listen to nothing no motherfucker got to say.
Nah.
And so
And I'm
if you ain't
encouraging
for me.
everybody else to like adopt that same mentality.
If you ain't for me or with me, I ain't fucking with
I'm
you.
out.
Show me
And
your
so-
game, man.
And that's something I
Go
took
out
the
there
long
and
way.
get it, man.
That's something I took the
No
long
matter
way
what.
around to get to understanding. And I'm gonna say this and shut the fuck up. I didn't have the support of my family doing what I chose to do. Because I chose to be poet full time and make it make money. It was like, even in high school, my mom was like, "What you want to do when you graduate?" "I want to get paid to travel the world and do poetry. These cats is on TV doing it. I know I'm better than them. I can do that, right?" And my mom's like, "You need to do something else," and kind of pretty much is stuck to that. You see what I'm saying? Like, she'll show up to some of the big things that I've done.
Yeah.
But like my entire family is like, unless I can go perform at church or at one of they little, like Mason or Eastern Star type things, it's just like, oh, Brandon be over there doing what he do. Yeah, I mean,
But it's like kind of not like common though. It's like what
it's
you gonna
weird.
be,
But
be
I also had to learn, and it took me a while to get here. So I would say in the last 2 years, I realized that like the life that my parents and my family has lived and the life that I was afforded are staunchly different. You know what I mean? And I understand where my parents are coming from with, they just wanted the best for me. And this is just my isolated incident. All they know is get a good job, get benefits. You see what I'm saying?
retirement, 401k.
Right. Do all that because that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
It's the safe approach.
right. You know what I mean? Like, baby, you're already black. Like, so sit down. It's like, like, it's
What's
not
the
like
fun in that?
it's not right. It's not you.
What's
You
the
ain't playing
fun in
basketball.
doing
Or
something that
playing
you
football.
truly don't enjoy doing.
That's also the secret to being
That's
successful.
hard.
that's-
That's hard work.
That's
It's hard work.
Yeah, but that's what
that's
takes you
hard
back
work.
around to what success
Man, that is
is.
that's a life
extremely
of
hard work.
happiness,
bro.
And so, I mean, but so much of the, I would say like my parents' generation and above, that's what they know. That's what success, to bring it full circle. That's what success was for them. A stable job that pay the bills in their house and allow them to put them clothes and food on the table for their family. You see what I'm saying?
I wonder
And
what
the life that I was afforded, being that I came from a long line of soldiers and like people who that's all they've done their entire life. You dig what I'm saying? Like my grandfather's 3 times retired and about to retire a 4th time. He's
So he
not
was
old enough for that.
conditioned.
It's low risk,
You
low
see what I'm
reward.
saying? And
we
he
got to
passed
go
that-
for it now. You know what I'm saying? This is the
so
time.
who's gonna move
But
the
listen,
needle?
though, check
Who's
this out.
selling-
So in that aspect, when I finally realized, when I had that realization, like, oh snap, like, because I mentioned it earlier, like being a hothead. You know what I mean? Like I got a lot of anger issues because of the support I felt like I didn't get, and then some other stuff. But like I had to finally realize, like in letting go of a bunch of that anger, like they were not afforded the life that they afforded me, which then didn't allow them to have those moments or those times where somebody could say like, bro, what is it that you're passionate about? Do you know that can be your career? You dig what I'm saying? Like, do you know that you can go out and make money doing that?
You know
see what
something,
I'm
man?
saying?
It used to be if you made more money than your father, you kind of didn't want to like
Tell him.
tell your
Oh,
father
yeah, most definitely.
You don't tell your
that
father
you made
that you
more
make more
money
money
because it would be like, boy, I done worked 35 years at my job and
Yeah, no, it was disrespectful.
I would never tell my father that I made more money than him.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I don't. My thing is, I would think that your pops would be proud of
you.
it.
You would think
But that's right.
You would
think
he
that
would be.
and wouldn't care if he wasn't.
But the thing about
And
this,
it might be that way, but at the same time, probably
When am I-
not.
why
but
would
this
I
is how it goes, though. If you remember, this is how it goes. He won't be feeling some type of way if you don't tell him. If you let him see it on his own, because he's not blind.
Right.
He see you making money. He see you growing.
Yeah.
Let him recognize
part
it
of the
on his
process.
own. Let him process it on his own. And then you know what he'll do in turn? He'll turn around to his friends and say, my son got this, that, and the other. And that's where he's at. And he's going to boast it.
Shit, my daddy's
He's
gonna be
gonna
like, let me
promote it.
borrow some
But
of
listen,
that.
y'all, hold on
You'll
real
never have to
quick.
tell
Real quick.
him.
Speaking about people, since that's what we're speaking about, we got to talk about those people that ran up in the Capitol building last Wednesday.
boy.
Okay, we could not get away from it. I've been
breached all
trying
that
to
security.
touch on this topic for a minute.
Talking about when the police
But,
let him inside.
You mean the stage?
Yeah.
taking selfies?
It was.
I would love to hear you guys' opinion
Y'all go first.
on that incident.
Well, you point out who you want to go first.
no, y'all go
'Cause
first.
I think
I'm
everybody got something to say.
Did you see that, man?
You know I saw it.
So
You
what
know I
your
saw it and
Ball
paid
booty
careful
over here.
attention to it.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts?
I think that these people are incredibly serious about Trump for starters.
What is the fascination? What is the
Bruh.
love affair
Look, bro.
these people have?
Trump
I
will go
don't
down.
even call him the president. With Donald J, man, 45, man. What's the love affair they have with 45, man?
He's a cult
They are
leader.
willing to run up in the Capitol building, up in these people's houses, man.
know they gonna allow.
DJ will go down as the greatest cult leader
Yeah.
in the history of cult leaders.
They knew that it could be
Listen,
done
man,
with him.
Because he did it while
allows
being
those type of
president,
people
bro.
Yeah.
Mofos
to be who
was
they are
studying
right
him
out in
from
public.
when he
Wait a
was
second.
in, bro.
Protecting
Wait a
His
second.
narcissism
You
was.
can't act like it's a small thing he's done because
No, it's not. That's what I'm
it's
saying.
74 million people that went out and voted.
That's
for
what I'm
this
saying. The
Yeah.
great cult leader.
How
in the
after
history
4
of cult
years
leaders.
of that administration, were there still
Makes him a cult
such
leader.
a large
Makes him a cult
turnout?
leader.
What makes him a cult leader?
Uh-oh,
The fact
hold
that he
on.
got.
What did he do wrong?
So
In the
wait,
election?
hold on. Oh, because
Hold on,
now,
hold on,
now
Mark.
we have
We got
two different
something going right
conversations.
here on
Hold
the
on.
side.
No, y'all finish that, and then I
Wait,
got
wait,
you
wait,
on
what-
this.
Hold on, they,
Okay.
Let me post.
Yeah, so why did so many Americans still go out there and vote for him? Why did he not lose any of his base after none of his promises came true? About building a wall, about anything that he was
Because it
selling
was never
during
about
the
promises.
first election in 2016.
They didn't give a shit about what he said he would do.
so didn't.
They just like how he presented himself in the very beginning.
That's it.
Coming down the escalator. These Mexicans, these the rapists, the drug dealers,
The reality of the situation
the
is
criminals. Trump, he already put something in people's head from the door. This is about a cultural war.
This is about us against them.
Trump fed
Hold on
into
for a
what?
second.
Go ahead.
This is a cultural war. What we getting ready to do is stop these Mexicans, and we can put a few of these brothers in place too, but most of them are already domesticated, so there's no real need in even putting a lot of energy over there. We got them where we want them at. At some point, they'll learn how to vote and do better. But we ready to slow down the tide of these Mexicans. Because see, the next 10 years is supposed to be 60 million more Mexicans of Spanish descent migrating to America. That changes the dynamics incredibly so when we talk about politics. And politics is the only thing that one should talk about.
But they're voting for the Republicans.
They sure are.
No, listen.
Republicans.
Listen.
They are.
Okay, maybe. There's always a few idiots. But when we talk about 35% to 65% or 60 or 75%, that's a huge difference. Who gives a shit if a few of them are able to go over there and be? Who gives a shit? The majority of these people are going to be in the Democratic caucus.
Facts.
I mean, but Florida's
Big
been a
facts.
red state forever.
Man, Florida is domesticated as any
Florida
other place.
also. Here's how Florida's been
That's the
winning
biggest
on not
Hispanic. Texas
counting.
is the biggest Hispanic community.
But this is how they winning on not counting the Hispanic vote. The Hispanic and the black folk is at large uncounted for up until this
California.
year or this past election. Because a majority of the black people, I don't want to say majority, a vast portion of the black people in Florida had prior convictions, right? Have been incarcerated, which then negated their ability to vote. A large portion of the Hispanic population in Florida were first generation born, but the paperwork hadn't been done to qualify them as actual U.S. citizens. Their vote now, null and void. You see what I'm saying? So check it out. If 70%, let's say the 65 to 70
It's cultural.
of one particular state is people that can't vote, that only leaves the old white mofos that can vote in that state. You see what I'm saying? And Florida holds one of the largest grouping of electoral votes.
It's nothing for me to go get a Mexican woman or a Mexican man and parade them around on TV as if there's some form associated with your ideology. It's nothing to do with it. Give them a few.
But even with that said, even if some of those numbers were, misleading,
I forgot about
I've seen the way that they draw to 45 more so than any other president. But his base that I've ever seen in my lifetime. I mean, I started off with, let me see. What about Kennedy? No, before. No, let me see. No, it wasn't Kennedy. Who was in president? Anyway, I've seen my share of presidents.
Yeah, for sure.
I've never seen.
But that's high. But that's really not true.
But back to the Capitol building.
I'm talking about, but the Capitol building.
Your thoughts.
He instigated a riot. He was the instigator.
That's to call it mildly, bro.
That's what you call inciting a riot.
He had been stoking that flame for years.
And he done it, and like I say, okay, 73.
14 arrests.
He had
I believe. I think there was some more made.
73 million people willing
out of the curfew,
listen to what he's saying, willing to move when he wants them to move, and all of these different things. Oh, when Obama had 100 and something million
14
willing
arrests.
to move.
What do you think about the 14 arrests?
The 14 arrests was just a slap on the wrist. Them boys ain't nothing gonna happen to them people.
So what do you think about
you can expect more arrests to come first, and something's gonna happen.
So the lack of the police presence or the lack of the police response to the situation, I think, is what I'm really trying. I'm trying to peel some layers off here and get to the core, okay? You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, we saw the people in the Capitol building. We understand that Trump's got a huge following. Okay, I'm trying to get the dynamics of what this love affair is about, to the point where the people will run up in the Capitol building.
Yeah, he made them feel comfortable.
And run through the people's offices, papers all over, vandalizing the people's stuff, and all that. Man, they running around with
podium
the podium in their hand, taking pictures with officers.
And they whooping
the police presence was not, in my opinion,
it wasn't like
what I thought
it should be.
It should be in something in an incident like what happened Wednesday.
Okay, but
that should have been all cops on hand, everybody, man.
Bring everybody. In any other country, we'd be talking about how Wednesday was a bloodbath.
But you have a president.
4 people died. What was it, 5?
It's 5 people. 5 people now.
5 people now. It was 4. One was shot in the neck. A lady crawling up the building.
Oh, 6 now. It's 2 cops. The lady trying to break in got shot in the neck, and then 3 people that were technically just hindered from going to the hospital by having been there.
Right. Okay.
Well, the senior citizens?
Yeah, well, I mean,
it was a lot. Y'all ain't see wheelchair Betty in there, bro.
Yeah,
so what? People had heart attacks while they were in there?
No, just like they probably was already sick. You know, white people be sick.
They was already sick, and then they went into shock. No, I don't know. Come on now.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened to the people that had medical issues?
I just think that they, when Trump came in, he made people.
Hold on. What happened to the people with the medical issues?
Because we never know. We'll never know. But their medical issues.
So 3 people had heart attacks.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Hold on. 3 people had heart attacks in the hour or however long they was up in the Capitol building rioting. 3 people, Fred Sanford, heart attacks, died.
I'm coming home.
3 of them.
I don't know, bro. I just know one of them got shot and one officer died of injuries sustained by the crowd or doing combat with the crowd. Who knows?
When
I don't know about the other
it was like 4 people. They got killed.
Officers?
They said medical. They said, what do they call it? Medical. Okay.
So there were medical emergencies that they determined were not brought on due to people breaking in. Right. So they were non-riot, non-coup related.
Just died.
Emergency.
That wasn't related to the riot.
But they was
the Capitol building.
Man, I guess,
during that day at that time? Oh, come on, man.
I guess we gotta wait for the
how does it not
toxicology.
relate
But
to
it also
riot?
was a lot of old whites there too. You dig what I'm
But
saying? They
old or
hearts was
not,
too
they
much.
just didn't all just die just because.
Hey, bro, look, here's
it was
the
that
deal.
day.
I don't care. They
Yeah, but we
look, they should have
digress,
been at
though.
the house.
But
Yeah,
to
but we
me,
digress,
That's
though.
one.
See, listen
They
to
would,
me.
if they was
To
at the
me-
house, they wouldn't have been dead
To me,
in the streets.
that's something that's not being talked about enough. I read the news
What you mean?
that they're not about the people that died.
But they're dead. They should have died. What else
Well,
are you talking about?
No. I'm not judging whether they should have died
bro,
or should not have died. Hold on, listen. I
other
think you're missing the
country.
point. I'm not concerned about whether they should have died. Now, that's not me to decide. My thing is, 4 people died from medical, whatever they said it was, emergencies. I would like to know what those medical emergency was.
So
that is just awfully peculiar to me. I'm not saying what it is.
Google, don't they? I mean, you really
Well,
want to
No,
here's,
you
but
really
here's
can't.
why it
You really
doesn't.
can't. I've done that.
Here's
I've done
why.
it.
What's the HIPAA Act?
What did
You
it
can't-
say, huh?
They can't divulge
They
medical.
don't tell you.
Right.
But here's why
yeah.
it's. I don't want to say it doesn't matter.
And they ain't spoken
Here's
on the
why
news at
their
all?
deaths are inconsequential.
Because if those
Once
deaths
they-
are on the hands of
Oh, but they
Donald
are.
Trump, man,
They still are.
for inciting this riot, then some other measures should be taken.
against
If
Donald
all these
Trump.
people died up in the Capitol building and he incited this riot.
So we all agree on that. That regardless of what their deaths were, those people would not be dead if Trump wasn't Trump. You see what I'm saying? We agree on that. The if Trump hadn't been and hadn't stoked those like the craziness therein, which is the popcorn show on Wednesday, then those. So check it out.
Why is he not receiving more backlash about
'Cause,
4
check it out.
people dying?
Half the country
5,
voted
6
for
people
him.
dying in the Capitol
Listen,
building.
Well,
half the country,
how do you
He's
dismiss
receiving-
half the country
he's
voted for
receiving
him,
plenty of
and
backlash.
half of the
He just
people,
ain't getting it from Republicans.
147 Republicans that day in the midst still voted to overturn the election. This is what I say, bringing it back to you, why Trump will go down as the greatest cult leader in the history of cult leaders ever, bro. He convinced more than 70, at least 73 million people that the crazy shit he says out his mouth is correct. And then not only that, people that sat in seats that have 6-year terms, mind you, he's only been president for 4 years. People who have been in those seats for at least 4 of those years that he's been president, people that were still in those seats prior to him getting there, that know how the process works, right? Because check this out. All these people who agreed that the election were rigged also got to keep their job from the rigged election. So you know what I mean? So you believe that the system both works and doesn't work at the same time. And you only believe that now because this motherfucker's been talking about it for 4 years. So check it out. Cult leadership. A bunch of things have to happen for a cult leader to rise to fame.
Leader, man.
So-
it's a whole lot of shit going on. People don't give a shit about that. His policy, he got some decent policy.
Yeah,
He got some
but no,
decent
listen.
policy.
So-
but it's a few motherfuckers that's got that cult following, like you saying. But I'm telling you, those
No,
74 million people ain't followed him like that. He's just created some good. He ain't created shit.
No, so
he
listen,
told the Republicans.
So listen, you got a couple things that had to happen all at once for Trump to be Trump. Because a lot of people like to blame the rise of Trump on us just having 8 years of Obama, and that's not it. Yes, blacklash was a thing, right? Blacklash and being like, God damn, we can't get rid of this nigga. I can't believe y'all let a nigga in the White House. It's called the White House for a reason. And y'all let this nigga in here. Just a bunch of Uncle Ruckuses running around. Okay. And then if Obama alone, we probably still could have been, we probably could have done away with Trump. But the only thing that white men hate more than black people is white women. And so on the heels of Obama, you had the first ever white woman in a power suit trying to run. And goddamn, you can't have this nigga that has been up here. He got a black dude, he got a black wife, a black ass kids, and a black girl. He do barbecues and play basketball. And now you got the wife of the motherfucker we impeached for getting head in the office running for president? No, sir. No, sir. And she know what she talking about? No. So you had both blacklash and then like the innate.
Think all that was done by accident?
The innate hatred.
Think all that was done by accident?
No. I mean, I think some of that is definitely on purpose. But what I'm saying is these things needed to happen to then give rise to somebody as unqualified and as brazen as Trump, somebody who didn't even think that he was going to win.
So
if you go back and look at when he won, I'm not saying it was planned. What I'm saying though is certain things.
It was much more qualified.
There are certain things. There are certain things that need to happen for a cult leader to rise.
Why do you keep saying he's a cult leader?
Cult leader, bro. There's no reason that somebody who can tweet.
How much have you had to drink?
Check this out. No, check this out.
But a cult leader says somebody is a person pretending to be a god, pretending to be God, he control people.
Trump don't think his word is law.
He's not doing that. He's just allowing them a platform.
Trump don't think his word is law, though. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
What Trump is doing is he's giving a platform to the scum, to the white supremacists,
Bruh.
skinheads, the Nazis, and whoever else wants to hate black folks, Jews, or whoever else.
So you don't think that those things are cults?
And who wants to swindle and be honorary and be on his team as far as owing him favors for stuff that he does for you. It's all about that with him. He's narcissistic. So when
Which
you're
is a
looking
key
at
trait in that.
when you're looking at Donald Trump like that, man, listen, he's not a cult leader. What he is this, he's a master manipulator.
No, bro.
Yes, he is.
I mean, well,
he's a master manipulator.
Wait, check this out. Listen, listen, enough.
You giving him too much credit, bro.
We go.
Ain't that masterful about that,
We're going to move on. I got another topic to discuss. All right.
Wag is like,
What
nah.
do y'all think about all the rappers that's dying, man? All the young rappers, man, that's dying out here over the past.
You could probably talk about
you could say
today.
really over the past couple of decades
Yeah,
for
I can
real.
see that.
But
I've been doing my research.
But there seem to be a lot of them drug overdoses, violence, and stuff like that. I was doing had just read here recently somewhere, I can't remember what the outlet was, but from the time that hip hop rap music came into mainstream was about 1976, 77 or so. The only deaths for the first 25 years in hip hop was DJ Scott LaRock from KRS from Boogie Down Productions with KRS-One.
Right.
Yeah.
I was a big Boogie Down Productions KRS-One fan, man. I mean, that was hot when I was coming up. And he got shot and killed in New York at a party, DJing. And you really didn't hear, you didn't hear about anybody else like dying in rap music or hip hop music to any violence or definitely any drug overdoses or anything like that. But now, over the last 2 decades, there's someone dying
On a regular.
on a monthly basis.
Well,
So,
shit,
you know
what I'm saying?
they're dying from what they are rapping about.
Yeah, so I think two things are at play.
Well, hold on. Let's give somebody else a chance to talk.
No, my bad.
All right.
Look, I'm cool.
All right. What is your thoughts on that, brother?
My thoughts on young rappers that are killing each other, because how crazy it is that it's rappers killing rappers.
Facts.
That's what makes it so crazy. It's other rappers killing rappers, and they're so involved and so entrenched into this gang culture and who's got beef with who and who hangs with who and what they repping. And there's no respect for life, and they're doing a lot of shooting, broad daylight, shooting innocent people. MO3, broad daylight, shootout in the middle of the street. And he's with a Grammy Award. He's with a known rapper that's known across the country and loved. He was with Bootsy when this happened.
So what's the beef about?
It's their beef.
What are beefs about?
They're beefing about women. They're beefing about money. They're beefing about gang stuff.
So if they're all successful rappers, and all of them aren't getting shot dead, some of them are, the drugs of choice that they use in their party, their party favors are ending them up in the cemetery.
Mixing.
You know what I'm saying? So when I was coming up, and I still listen to rap music today, don't get it wrong, hip hop head for life. But we rapped about getting money, man. We rapped about getting money. They rap about getting money now, but just as much they rap about getting money, they rap about getting high.
Mm-hmm.
They rap about drinking codeine. They rap about popping pills. They rap about mollies. They rap about all that type of stuff. And to the point that they done made that fly. And I never understood how nodding off and scratching and all that stuff was fly. I mean, I think the game then got twisted, and I don't know if these drugs is making them the perspective on stuff be disoriented or whatever, distorted. But between the drugs and this is what they rapping about, and then their lyrics get real like, the lyrics get real personal a lot of times. And these are just images, a lot of these guys. I mean, 90% of them aren't what they rap about. 90% of them aren't what they rap about.
But then you get a lot of them.
You got some that are, but you got some that are just, they got to alter character. They are performers, man. I mean, let's not lose track of that. I mean, a lot of cats now that are rapping have came up getting money in the streets, took that money, tried to go a legal way with rap music and stuff like that, being able to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? They got their ear to the street. They know what's going on. They feel like they can rhyme about it. All right, I get that. But some of these cats, all they've seen is the studio. They ain't been out there. They might rap about different guns and stuff that they done acquired. They might rap about different drugs and stuff that they done use, but that don't mean that they done been out there and done put in any work, man, or done been in any type of situations where, you know what I'm saying, they had to fight for their life, But the image that they putting on is making them.
That's what they selling, the image.
But if you look at it, Wag,
I want you to get in. I know you can't wait, but I want you to get in.
I'm good. I've got it.
But if you look at it, Wag, if you look at the Lil Durks and the ones, these different rappers that are out there right now that are hot, like the Morays and these different rappers, the money that's being generated around them, they don't necessarily have to be the one with the bag anymore, but everybody else around them has got the bag. Everybody else around them has got the Dracos and the choppers. So they're still connected to the streets. They're not playing the corporate music world. They're playing the underground music world, selling their own music, making their own videos, putting it on YouTube and wherever else they need to put it at. They got their own platforms, so they don't need anybody else. But a lot of these rappers that are coming out today, that are in the field today, besides it's a couple of them, and the ones that ain't on that and ain't never seen that type of the streets, they tell you, I ain't never did all that, but I got this money stacked like this,
like
and
Drake
I get
will,
your head knocked out.
you know what I'm saying? A couple of them other cats will. I
got money like this, and I'll get your head knocked out. Hey.
I'm going to interject real quick.
Get on in there.
I'm going to interject real quick. Now I'm going to be quiet.
Are you sure you're going to be quiet?
Because I got a lot to say, but I'm going to try to say this real quick. Just because collectively, like y'all all my uncles, you know what I mean? Like I see that, respect that, acknowledge that y'all, with the generations that y'all grew up in and the level and the history of rap y'all grew up with. You dig what I'm saying? Like my first album is Craig Mack's Funk the World. You see what I'm saying? And then I come up from there. And then taking that in the piece, I think and I'll shut up after this. The difference in between the young cats that are dying in the streets and overdosing and this and that, there's two things. The first thing is, then somebody said it, I can't remember, but the quote was, we'll say like 90s, 80s rap is the drug dealer rap, right? Like, particularly once we introduced NWA, Tupac, Biggie, that level of hardcore, like these really kind of microscopic looks into some of the nastier parts. You know what I mean? Like the New Jack City, if you will, of rap. Well, white people love that shit. You dig what I'm saying? And then they bought into it and sold it. And you have all this drug dealer rap. The kids that rap now are the children of the people they sold drugs to. That's one. Two, unlike in rap of old, I would say at least up until the J. Cole, Wale, Drake era, you had older rap heads, rap OGs, gods, who then would take under their wing the new kids and be like, hey, don't go do that shit over there. come do this shit over here. You see what I'm saying? At least to some extent, right? You know, like never mind the whole some of the monetary treachery that's happened maybe within the last 4 or 5 years. But you're saying like Drake was out of Toronto and Wayne found him and they, hey, don't go do that shit you was doing over there. Get off of Degrassi. Come do this.
Well,
Wale was in DC. Rick Ross went and got Wale. Kanye went and got Big Sean and Kid Cudi and 2 Chainz. You see what I'm saying? Like you know, like Jay-Z went and got Jay Electronica, Cole, and some other people, right? Hey, y'all are dope. I like y'all. I like y'all sound resonates with a lot. Dre went and grabbed Kendrick and Kendrick's entire camp. You dig what I'm saying? And got 50 and 50's camp, you know, and these cats. You dig what I'm saying? You have these these legends, right? These people who knew what it meant to come up in an era where rap was the new toy, right? Teach the younger cats coming up. Well, what happened was all the younger cats coming up didn't teach the people that came after them. You see what I'm saying?
Why not?
I don't have an answer for why. All I know is that they didn't. You dig what I'm saying? I think the only 2 people that I can say you can be like, okay, look at their camps. The people coming out of those camps are doing good things. That's Kendrick, and that's the whole TDE camp.
But he's saying why they dying though.
I'm saying the dying pieces. You didn't have somebody come in
rap
and say,
music
don't do that.
Music is the theme of the streets. It's telling you what's going on out here in the streets right now. So that's what they're rapping about. So if drinking syrup and popping mollies and all of that stuff that they consuming and doing is part of the reason to the violence that we've agreed about, right?
Okay.
So is it, I mean, you only rap about what you see. You only rap about what you go through, right? For the most part.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it all related to like the music, the drugs, the killing? I mean,
I think another piece that we're ignoring is.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what is the difference between now, because there was drugs back then.
True.
Okay, there was drugs. There was just different drugs.
I'm about to explain it for you.
Although, you know, drugs existed. Syrup been around for a long time. You know, they've been drinking drink.
I got you. So, but listen. So the difference is between now and then is the machine. Right? There was no machine that powered rap and hip hop back in the day.
But
right?
what's the machine now?
Because it was, hold on, I got you.
Okay.
Because it was underground, right? It was the pulse of the individual cities and the regions. There was no major corporate machine that was like, I have all this money to put into you from wherever the fuck you at. And whatever you got to say is now the sound for an entire region.
You got to trace the growth of rap. That's where you're going to get your answer at.
Yeah, but
all right, look.
Okay, I'm with you.
When rap first started, rap was in infancy. All right, when you look at the 80s, rap is still a child.
Right.
Because of when it came on the scene, still a child.
Okay.
In the 90s, reason why the 90s was so turbulent, because it's a teenager. Now, when it gets into the 2000s, it's in its 20s. It's in the early 20s, like a human being. So you're still going to have ups and downs, but you think that it kind of got some stuff figured out. Don't think this start making more money. Start making stuff successful. Like you do something in Texas, you do something in Miami, we can see it. Back in the day, we couldn't see it.
Facts. Like
if you were DJ Screw and you sipping lean, and I'm from Ohio, and I'm like, what they doing down there? Nigga, that look cool as fuck.
Facts.
I need to get some of that action. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you go to Cincinnati right now, nigga, they do just as much syrup as anybody in Dallas, Texas.
Most deaf, bro. Most deaf. And that used to only be a Texas thing, bro.
Another thing is this. They start letting real street dudes in the game.
Yeah.
Also, see, back in the day, you can rap about being a street dude, but who's gonna pull your card?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You might get into it with some dudes waiting at your show to try to test you, see if it's really real. Who's gonna really test you for real?
Right.
Understood.
Now, it's like, hey, dude, I'm gonna see you.
Yeah.
And when I see dude, I'm gonna make sure he is what he is.
Yeah, so they got the ones to back them up. Not
only that, then it's self-destructive too, because now, ask yourself this. Would you rather die and be a nobody or die as a martyr?
Mm-hmm. Well, everybody wants to be a martyr.
Exactly. Yeah. So these young guys is like, listen, man, I'm gonna live like this. If I die, so be it, man. I'm gonna live forever in songs. They're gonna shirts,
life
everything.
Like everybody else.
I mean, right, but also
they don't love life like everyone else.
Well, they don't love life because we have as a, and I don't want to say we as black people, but we as a let's say a hip hop or a rap culture collectively have not given the younger kids a reason to understand that their life is worth living, right? And that can come from a bunch of different perspectives, and we can talk about that beyond the podcast.
There's a lot of undoing there.
And it is a lot of undoing.
There's a lot to unpack there because it ain't that people ain't telling them what their life is worth. It's just that
They've
been told for so long or before that what it wasn't worth.
Exactly.
It's some undoing that's required.
Yeah. And what I'm saying is the machine doesn't allow for that unpacking to happen.
But then you have this strong presence here. The social media pressure
to be something that you're not.
To be something or to be a part of is so strong and so overwhelming for this generation here. Doesn't allow them a chance to think. It doesn't allow them a chance to process. It doesn't allow them a chance to comprehend because it's instant. Everything's
fast.
like this.
Yep.
So everything's live. Pop, 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 pop. So everything's improv. Nothing's thought of. Nothing's processed. Nothing's given any thought to say, okay, should I do that? Should I say that? That's why they have, because they figured out this, I got an edit button. I can go back and edit.
Yup.
I can go back and private. I can do this. I have all these different options instead of the main option that God gave them, the ability to process their own thoughts, whether it be consciously or subconsciously.
Okay, but like King Von, for instance, dude who used to be tight with.
Nah, I remember.
Okay, what's the guy that used to be
Dirt.
tight?
Yeah.
No, the other guy that he got in a fight with.
Quando Rondo.
Quando Rondo.
Okay. Now they've been beefing for a while.
Right.
Okay. Bump into each other at the compound in Atlanta, and y'all know the rest of it happened.
Yeah.
Quando Rondo had a long time to process whether or not take Von's life. That wasn't an instantaneous
But Quando didn't.
process.
No.
Quando didn't take his life though. It was just.
He doesn't value life. He doesn't value life.
Neither one of them value life.
They from the streets. They from the trap.
Exactly.
And the world that they've now been consumed with, that we then empower with excess amounts of money, tells them that the life that they should be valuing isn't valuable.
They've been doing,
I'm gonna
but they
pump you
grew
full
up
of drugs.
like that,
I'm gonna
though.
pump you full of money, and I'm gonna keep giving you.
But you know what?
access
Back
to
in the
money and
day,
stuff.
none of those dudes would have got a chance to make a record,
No,
a
they
song,
wouldn't.
a net.
But they
You know what I'm
also
saying? They would
wouldn't.
scare the guys like that.
Right, but they
You know what I'm
also
saying?
wouldn't have been paid.
But they managed to say, you know what? They're self-destructive anyway. If we get them long enough for them to make us some money, we don't care if they kill each other, kill everybody.
But like
you know
I
what I'm
say,
saying?
what's different now? Social media. They being able to process their own money, their own talent.
Yeah.
They don't need any ARs. They don't need any
There's never
companies.
been a time when they paid you so much money to talk about going and killing your buddy.
Bro, for nothing.
Yeah.
For
And so
nothing,
now, and then
bro.
you got to think a lot of
For
these.
For nothing. They'll make T-shirts and sweaters out of it. It'll make $1 million in sales overnight.
Brother, go kill that woman.
But these
Go kill
guys,
some dope and fuck her brains out.
but these
Yeah.
guys
Knowing
are
about it.
these guys are really strong.
crazy, man.
These guys that
a
we're
big
talking about,
plan.
these King Vons, these Quando Rondos, these Lil Durks, and the MO3s and the Moray, these different young rappers that are out there that's got a name for themselves. These type of, they have so much marketing ability within their own community because they were already relevant before they even put out a record on YouTube, mainstream YouTube.
Right.
So like the Little Dirt, stuff like that. I was hearing about this boy 10 years ago rapping. But they was talking about him being in the streets more than they was talking about him rapping.
Oh, that's right, because he used to run with Keith.
Chief Keef.
Yeah.
See, they was talking about him being in the streets, and we knew what was going on in Chicago during that time.
Right, Chirac.
That's not, yeah. So we know what type of environment they come from. The rapping thing is just something that they like to do. It's just like playing video games.
Facts.
You got 1 million rappers now. They stay in the studio, and they got the money to do it. They got the money to go in and say, man, we want the studio all night, man. And they might not do nothing but sit in there and smoke reefer and do what they do.
See, they went
But
with
they
the
got the
drill.
money to do it.
And that's
They
big
got the money
factual.
to do whatever it is that they want to do.
Why
It's
the
just
hell
they
are they
don't-
killing each other?
because they don't have, because they don't know what to do with the money. And when you don't have nothing to do with the money, what you do, you buy guns, jewelry,
You buy everything
and you
about the
put
life
on
that
there,
just claim
and you
that had.
and then you go back to the lifestyle.
Getting money don't make you violent, man. I
They
mean,
come
they
from
know-
violence, but they
ain't
come
nobody-
from violence.
But
They know
ain't
exactly
nobody
what to
told
do
them
with
that.
that.
Six, seven-
That's what they doing. They know exactly what
They
to do
up
with that
there
money.
fighting
Right,
over.
but ain't nobody
over
told them that that's
blocks.
not the case.
These
But
brothers ain't happy,
you got 600-700 murders.
Hugs, man.
You got 600-700 murders a year. I'm telling you, is this constant killing?
And
Check it
why
out.
though?
Some-
Because
some-
over blocks. That's all they
Right.
doing,
Check
man.
it out.
Everybody's dying over blocks and all of that, man.
Something
That's
I
just
said
what it
earlier.
is. You know what I'm saying? So
Don't nobody know what's
at
wrong.
at the end of the day, with the Chief Keef and the King Von and Quando Rondo and all that, man, most of their stuff, y'all went with hip hop. They go with drill music.
Facts.
So it was all about dissing. I'm gonna diss your dad, homie, your mama, your dad, anybody that died in your family. I'm gonna diss them. So that was just a fun way to them. It was just a big game to them. You know what I'm saying? So those young men are dying over blocks. You know what I'm saying? Something that they never owned.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, so yeah, I would sip lean all day and pop mollies and snort coke when I know that it's a possibility I'm gonna die tomorrow because I done disrespected somebody's people and then I'm living this life.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So
I mean,
it ain't talking about no computer.
but you don't have to disrespect that person's people.
But that's what they grew up on, though.
Ain't nobody told you that it's wrong. You don't
They
know what
it's
right
wrong.
looks like.
They just don't give a shit.
Yeah, they just don't give a fuck.
and then, I mean, but then also that though.
There it is.
They know it's wrong. They don't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
they just don't
There
give
it
a
is.
fuck.
Okay, I
I'm
They
saying,
ain't got
get
no
it.
soul,
Yeah.
Like
man.
high off this drug, and I'm saying
I
there's a
think that's
couple-
just the
there's
whole
a couple
point of
more
me.
other drugs is busting in my system right now. And I'm saying that when they do bust and that pill pop up, fuck y'all.
And what does that destroy? Your conscience.
True. Okay.
So I'm gonna go. I can kill you, Office Molly, Zany Bar, or whatever.
Okay,
and
well,
I
okay.
have no conscience
Let me
on
give you an
me.
example of how I mean. So, Nelly, I'm gonna use these examples. Nelly, T.I., Chameleonaire, Paul Wall. I can't think of old dude's name, so we're not gonna use him. But these four people, right? Flip. We'll go through Flip. So T.I., when I first heard of T.I., came out guns blazing. Lil Flip ain't shit. I'll kill this nigga. You see what I'm saying? And then the other old head ATL rappers, right? So all the Goody Mob, Outkast, you know, like Big Rube from Def Poetry Jam. You know what I mean? You had all these other cats. And was like, hey, bro, like maybe shut that down. Like maybe don't do that because Atlanta already has got enough on its table trying to keep Atlanta on the map. You dig what I'm saying? And like whether or not your careers do something or not, that what the level of beef that you talking usually ends in somebody's death, right?
He almost died too. He got his ass whipped.
Yeah.
To the dude, that's how they beef. He went to do
exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, with T.I. Flip.
Yeah.
Chameleonaire and Paul Wall was the same way. And it's super and worse because Paul Wall's white. You know what I mean? Like, bro, don't nobody care about you got grills and you rap, bro. You still a white dude talking real reckless to these black dudes out here in Houston.
And
You
why
dig what I'm
though?
saying? Right. And why? There's no need for that. And Pimp C came down and was like, hey, don't y'all be doing that bullshit. Texas rap already got to do what it needs to, what it has to do. We already got a sound that the rest of the South is already trying to emulate this and the third. Well, the last thing we need is y'all to do that.
It's gonna be more murder, man.
And to bring it back to something I said earlier, here again is are instances in which you had old head rappers that were already established that came down and did the same with these younger rappers. What I'm saying is, what these young bucks, because you know, like King Von and them were barely 20, 21, or like Pop Smoke that died off some random BS. You know what I mean? They still kids. They're OGs of rappers that are my age. Drake, Wale, Cole, all these cats, and the cats that are now older than them, who've now ascended to like this grown man rap level, and then don't deal. And you know what I mean? Like you don't have anybody that came down. And I don't know that because like I ain't famous, you know what I mean. But it seems
I still haven't heard the reason for the violence, though, man.
Well, there is no reason for the violence.
The reason is because times are becoming more increasingly violent.
Also, that
You don't even have to confine it to rap. It's just happening these days all over the globe.
That's how
Mark.
arguments are settled. That's how
What's
beef is
going
settled.
on, man. These are violent times just all over the world.
It's no
That
longer-
shit resonates and that shit trickles down into these neighborhoods and
Yeah.
First of all, killing and violence already been around, bruh. And ain't got no. Listen, bruh. Let me tell you what got worse with the violence.
Killing millionaires.
People that
is
ain't
what I'm
really
saying, man.
about that life, they gotta prove they about that life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of that's happening too.
Right,
Yeah.
because
You
you,
know
got
what
a
I'm
lot of
saying?
them
They
now.
ain't even so yeah,
Because
ego.
Yeah,
They had a-
ego. You get it?
They had a saying, a guy was telling me, like I say, you know, by me being released from being in prison, when I was in prison during that time of my life, the saying wasn't the guys and the younger guys was that they were coming to prison not because they was trying to get some money or because they was trying to protect themselves from somebody about getting some money. It was about they wanted to have up under their name, up under their belt, that they had smoked somebody. And that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't believe it. I was like, you mean to tell me a guy was willing to come to prison and do all of these years or whatever else to have these numbers up on his belt? And then you got these guys that's 15, 16 years old with 5 or 6 bodies.
Now we're getting there.
You got these guys
It's
that
more
got 5 or
so
6
about. That's what I'm
bodies.
thinking. It's more
At
so about
15 killers
just for the rep.
just for the rep.
That's the song they do
Man, the rep
anything
is-
for clout.
The rep.
It's for the rep, man.
The rep. Just like old girl, the little young chick up Chicago, the girl, had all the murders.
Oh, you talking about there was with King Von and them
Yeah.
people?
Yes.
But see,
Brothers is angry,
when you want to do
20,
something about
she got
rap,
20, 30 murders on her
Deeper than
belt.
that. So if you're doing it for rep, if
118.
you're doing it for a status, and I guess what you're doing it for respect. You know, you looked at, you're feared or you're respected because you have the ability or the balls to take another person's life. You know what I'm saying? If they wrong you in some type of way, or if they cross you in some type of a way.
Well, we know for sure that
I mean,
people that are known to be killers, people fear them.
yeah,
Because something like this, they take life. They've known to take life. If a person is known to take life,
so being feared, being feared
being feared,
is
being put on a pedestal,
Being feared is the
looked at,
thing, huh?
being followed,
There's money involved in it.
money involved,
Money
pay
involved in
good.
being feared.
You know what I mean?
so what being feared, what you can be by being feared, you can get people to do what you want them to do. Is that the
Escape
advantage of
hunger.
being feared?
By being feared,
It's
you
a
can
lot.
escape hunger.
Yeah.
You fear me because you know I'll
Okay,
stick
so
you in the
being
goddamn
feared.
ground.
Okay, yeah. So that'll
You know I'll stick you in the ground.
so
Tell
that,
me you ain't gonna pay me.
so you can get your money quick. I mean, so what if you don't? I mean, what if it's not like about money? Because it doesn't seem like this stuff is really.
It's about the rap.
Hunger, man. It's
Okay, well, let me,
It's hunger,
not
man.
about-
let me ask you this then.
with
So
the
if I-
people that we talking about, it's not about the rap. King Von and Quando Rondo, it's not about
Well, not
the
just
rap.
them in
I know.
particular. Them ain't the only people. Yeah, them, I'm not just
I mean,
isolating
okay, so
talking
you
about
gotta kind of like
them people right there.
You gotta.
I'm talking about the last 25 years.
Oh, okay.
so-
Last
so let's-
25 years, y'all got
Okay,
that.
so we still on rappers. I thought we moved beyond
was three.
rappers. I don't know what.
So,
that
well,
was-
so
that was the
no, I'm
topic.
gonna join you on that. Well, hold on. Let me ask this one. But I'm gonna join you on this. As the grown men that y'all are, as the OGs that y'all are, my uncles, is there not? Because if I'm trying to understand what you're saying with the excess of violence, which usually doesn't seem to have been predicated on anything else, is there nothing somebody can say verbally or do that then your immediate react, or not immediate reaction, or that your only reaction to it is violence? Is there nothing that somebody can do or say to you now that requires the response of violence that could potentially end somebody's life?
If you a POE,
say something someone can say.
Yeah. I'm just asking, just to
You know, when you're talking about killing somebody, it has to be about action
okay,
or the imminent threat of it.
okay,
But as far as
which could be a verbal thing.
the imminent threat of it, the imminent threat has to be more often than not.
Yeah,
You know, because you said say, so I was still on the verbal thing.
yeah, I got you.
Anything short of that, I don't want to just knock you off if that's what it had to come to.
So
Okay, understood.
I would like to pose a question, man. I've been thinking about this, and I think this is really good situation, man. And I've been wanting to get some feedback on it from some guys. I think I got a good panel of guys that can give me some good feedback on it as well. But the question I have is that since Georgia's got flipped, we
Okay.
flipped the Senate. Now we have the presidency, and we have the Senate, and we have the House. We have control. We have complete control all the way across the board. Hasn't happened. I don't remember that ever happening.
Yeah, I don't know what time.
It
Where
did
we
happen.
control. Where we control all
sure
of
it happened.
all
It
of the
happened at beginning
government.
of Barack's administration.
So even with Barack's administration, we didn't control the board.
You controlled everything.
No, we
For
didn't
the
control
first 2
Congress.
years.
We was
No,
half
Man,
and half.
listen. For the first 2 years,
he didn't have
Barack
Congress.
had the whole. Yes, he did. That's how he pushed Obamacare through. And then the midterms came, and the Republicans ushered in all of their candidates. I'm telling you, man, the first 2 years of the Obama administration was all across the board.
Right.
All three branches of the judicial, the administration, the executive, and the goddamn Congress, the legislation.
So the question is that, okay, with all of that being said, is the black community going to drop the ball now that they see that their voice counts and now that they see what they can do?
Man, they on
when
Obama's
come
ass
together?
right now.
So what are they going
My
to
fault, Biden's ass right now. They on it right
So-
now.
Same thing.
What's going to
Obama
be?
life.
What is the black community going to do now that the ball's in our court?
Criminal justice reform right away.
I feel like I'm having
Absolutely.
deja vu.
Right away.
Absolutely. Criminal justice reform.
Right away. They're going to push
The
it.
punishment that they're passing up, man,
probably
for
gonna-
some of these crimes just doesn't even fit the crime, man. They need to
But
reform
what
the
can
whole
they do
system.
in that area?
Well, they can let some people out. They can definitely
So-
not send all these people to prison for small violations.
Just to
Bullshit
fill it back
crime.
up.
So, okay.
Just for road violations, for minor infractions, like
Non-violent criminals.
I
curfew,
think
yeah,
So
curfew
I think-
violations or no, not having a job in the right amount of time or something like that. I mean, they just need to come up with another.
You think the Democrats gonna do it? You think it?
I didn't say-
so
I didn't say
I'm
they're not
with-
gonna do
I'm
it. I
with
said
you on
justice-
thinking that
I
they're
said
not gonna
justice
do that.
reform.
So the last
Most
thing
of the time
that
they gave out to prisoners come from Democrats, bro.
right.
So
So the last thing that the Democrats are
saying?
going to do is
You
let
know,
a bunch
when-
of
you
people
know-
out of
you
jail.
I know you probably
But-
speaking about when
I don't
Clinton was in
know about that.
Clinton was in office and they
yeah, Clinton
They
said
passed the
vote.
crime
I know
bill.
about
They
the
made
94
passed the crime
sure.
bill.
Yeah.
They got a lot of people, a lot of young black men, a lot of time for cocaine and stuff like that. Even and the 3 strikes outlaw, and I mean, so yeah.
Happened
But
in the Reagan era, too?
I also heard though,
Clinton.
it was supposed to be a deterrent. You know what I'm saying? Let them say it. It's supposed to be a deterrent. If you get the 3 strikes, you going to prison for life for whatever the felony is, for whatever the crime is. Was supposed to be a deterrent to nigga. Once you got to 2, you stopped. If you kind of know what the case is gonna be, if you know it's gonna be 3 strikes and you got 2 strikes, then you can't swing and miss no more.
But what's the flip side of it though?
The flip side is drug people that had were drug offenders and stuff like that, man, that get caught with a gram of crack cocaine or something like that, was going to prison for life, or running up in a store for some shoplifting to support a drug habit or something like that, was going to prison for life. It didn't work out right. I fully understand that, but hopefully the Democrats see that it's because it didn't work out in the 90s, that they have switched some stuff up. And, Biden's talking, he sound like he's talking right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got
Man.
Kamala in there. I mean, I'm hoping we got control of the House and the Senate. I mean, we'll at least give it a chance. I don't want to
Nominated
just.
Merrick Garland.
Yeah, we'll at least give it a chance. I mean, we've had 4 years of, and it doesn't have to do with criminal justice, but we've had 4 years of chaos, man.
So
And
JB and Kamala talk a good game.
it's a business, though.
I think
it's a business. That criminal,
the first
prison
two-
systems and stuff it's a business. A lot of rural people are employed out there in those little country little areas. If you got 1,500 employees, 800, 1,200 employees, that's like their UPS, their Ford, their GE or whatever. So
I think to just be realistic about it, man, I think the first 2 years of a Biden Kamala full Democratic ran situation, all of their focus is going to be about stimulating the economy, getting this vaccine
Getting
and
this
stuff
vaccine, yeah.
under control.
And they can do more.
And pandemic. No, they can do
They can
more,
do more.
but I think that
They have to do more.
primarily they'll do that. Now, as far as reform goes, I don't see a lot of reform in the form of letting people out, like drug dealers for like that were nonviolent and jazz like that. It's particularly all the black and brown people that were locked up for selling like weed, and now weed's legal.
They'll deregulate weed.
I don't see a lot of that happening for a multitude of reasons. One, if they don't put programs in place that then allow these people to be recidivized, And you then also don't allow these people to come into a market. You don't give them that option to come into a market that makes money, in which you sent them to jail for. If those programs aren't set up, then letting them out of jail sets them up for failure for you to send them right back to jail again.
There's plenty of programs
doing something
set up.
else.
They just have to not lock them up for what they locked them up for the first time, and decriminalize that stupid ass law most often not in grass.
Okay.
So that'll be a big factor. But yeah, they might let a few people out. I think that decriminalize weed, which eases the federal system up just a little bit.
Just a little bit.